Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into India's really unique and honestly super ambitious strategy for AI. There was this fascinating discussion at the World Economic Forum that laid out a game plan that doesn't just, follow the global leaders. It actually challenges the whole idea of what leadership in AI even means. So when you think about the global AI race, right, the common view, even on the biggest stages, is that you've got your leaders, the US, China, and then there's everyone else. And the assumption has always been that India fits squarely in that second group, a follower, not a leader, in this whole revolution. But is it really that simple? I mean, is that the whole story? India's top tech minister, Ashwini Vaishnaw, offered this really powerful and detailed rebuttal to that exact idea. He's basically arguing that the world might be measuring AI leadership completely wrong. So, yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so instead of just taking that second-tier label and running with it, the argument here is that India is strategically competing across the entire AI ecosystem. We're not just talking about creating one cool app. No, this is a whole picture approach that builds strength from the absolute ground up. Let's break down what that actually means. And the core of this counter-argument is, well, it's pretty bold and direct. The claim is that India is absolutely in that first group. Why? Because it's actively building out its own capabilities at every single level of the AI architecture, right from the very bottom. And this is what really sets India's strategy apart, this comprehensive 5-layer approach. So think of it like a stack. At the very top, you've got the application layer. That's the stuff we actually use. Right below that, you've got the model layer. These are the AI brains making those apps work. Then you go deeper to the chip layer, the special hardware needed to run the models. And all of that sits on top of the infrastructure layer. We're talking data centers, networks, the whole shebang. And at the very foundation, the energy layer, the power to run it all. And the point is, India is building muscle in every single one of these layers. All right, this is where India's plan gets really interesting and frankly kind of radical. It completely diverges from the global AI arms race we're seeing. And it all starts by asking a question that, in a place like Silicon Valley, probably sounds like total heresy. What's the actual return on our investment here? The whole economic theory here is that bigger isn't automatically better. The belief is that the real value, the real economic return, doesn't come from just building the biggest, baddest AI model on the planet. It comes from practical, widespread use. And here's the number that really drives this whole argument home: 95%. The point is that a massive 95% of real-world business and social problems don't actually need these gigantic, super expensive AI models to solve them. Smaller, more efficient models can handle the vast majority of these tasks just fine. So what you end up with are two fundamentally different philosophies, right? On one side, you have this arms race to create these massive models, a strategy so costly it's literally been called a path to bankruptcy. And on the other side, you've got India's path, creating what they call a bouquet of smaller, efficient models. And think about it. For a country like India, this is a brilliant move. It massively lowers the barrier to entry, it lets you innovate faster, and it means you're not totally reliant on a few foreign tech giants. You get to build your own vibrant AI ecosystem. So if that's your strategy, it completely flips the script on geopolitical power, doesn't it? I mean, it challenges the whole idea that owning the biggest AI model is what makes you powerful. Think about it. If your country isn't dependent on another nation's single giant model, then that nation loses its power to just switch you off. This is a huge shift in how we think about tech sovereignty. And that whole idea of technological sovereignty leads us right into the next part of the plan: democratization. The goal here is simple but massive. Make powerful AI tools accessible to everyone. We're talking students, researchers, startups, not just a handful of big tech companies. Because let's be honest, the biggest hurdle to getting into AI development anywhere in the world isn't a lack of good ideas. It's access. It's the limited supply and the crazy high cost of those specialized chips, the GPUs, that you need to train and run these models. So what's India's solution? A national compute facility. Get this. By pulling together a public-private partnership, the plan is to make 38,000 GPUs available to the public. This is a direct move to stop big tech from cornering the market on access and to really open up innovation for the entire country. And this is the really crucial part. It's not just about getting access. It's about making it affordable. This government-backed program is designed to make that critical compute power available at about 1/3 of what it would cost you in most other places. That is a game changer. So now you can really see how all the pieces start to fit together, right? It's this really systematic plan built on three pillars. You've got the infrastructure, that's the subsidized compute power. You've got the tools, that's the bouquet of free models. And you've got the people, the massive skills training. You put all that together to make sure AI spreads across the entire country on a huge scale. And when we say massive training, we mean it. The goal is to train 10 million people on AI skills. So you see, this isn't just a tech strategy. It's a full-on economic strategy designed to get a huge chunk of the workforce ready for an AI-powered future. Okay, so finally, let's talk about how India is thinking about regulation. Because the approach here isn't just about, passing a bunch of laws. It's about building a system that actually fuses technology with policy. They call it a techno-legal approach. And the core idea is pretty smart. For a technology that's as complex and moves as fast as AI, just writing laws isn't enough. You actually have to build new technology to help regulate the existing technology. You create a framework that can actually keep up as AI evolves. So what does that look like in practice? Well, it means they're proactively creating real technical solutions for AI's biggest headaches. We're talking about building tools to fight algorithmic bias, developing tech that can spot deepfakes with enough accuracy to hold up in court, and making sure models can be forced to unlearn private data if they have to. See, these aren't just policies on paper. They're actual practical tools for building trust in the system. So when you put it all together, the big takeaway is this. India isn't just trying to play the same AI game as everyone else, just maybe a few steps behind. No, it's defining its own game. And this game is all about mass adoption, real-world economic returns, and responsible tech-enabled governance. And that leaves us with one last pretty provocative thought to chew on. In a world that seems obsessed with an all-out race for AI supremacy no matter the cost, could it be that the most powerful strategy isn't about winning some technological arms race, but about how many millions of people you can lift up and empower along the way?